In late 1932, Australia found itself locked in a battle so absurd it sounds like satire, but it was very real. Known as the Great Emu War, this bizarre chapter in history pitted the Australian military against a formidable enemy, thousands of large, flightless birds. The backdrop was the unforgiving Australian outback during the Great Depression. Farmers in Western Australia, already struggling with economic hardship, faced a new crisis: migrating emus. These towering birds, standing over 6 feet tall and capable of running at speeds up to 30 miles per hour, had no interest in politics or economics, but they did have a keen interest in the farmers' wheat fields, which were finally ripe for harvest. In October 1932, as many as 20,000 emus migrated from inland Australia toward the coast, searching for food and water. Unfortunately for the farmers, their path ran straight through newly cultivated farmland, and the birds began devouring crops at an alarming rate. Desperate for help, the farmers appealed to the government. But instead of sending agricultural aid, the Minister of Defence approved a different kind of intervention: the deployment of soldiers, armed with 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. The mission was led by Major G.P.W. Meredith, an experienced World War I veteran. The plan was simple: locate the emus, open fire, and eliminate the threat to the wheat crop. What could possibly go wrong? As it turned out, everything. The first skirmish took place on November 2nd, 1932, near the small town of Campion. Around 50 emus were spotted grazing, and the soldiers set up their guns. But when they opened fire, the birds scattered in all directions, using their incredible speed and agility to evade the bullets. Despite firing hundreds of rounds, only a few birds were killed. Over the following days, the soldiers tried different tactics, from mounting the guns on trucks to setting ambushes. But the emus proved to be surprisingly skilled at guerrilla warfare. They traveled in small, fast-moving groups, were nearly impossible to herd, and seemed almost bulletproof. Major Meredith later remarked that the birds displayed incredible military discipline. He said, "If we had a military division with the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world." And, well, you can almost hear the hint of disbelief in his voice. But honestly, the humor barely masked the growing embarrassment. The emus were outsmarting the humans at every turn. On November the 4th, one of the Lewis guns jammed after just 12 birds were killed. On another occasion, the soldiers ambushed a group of 1,000 emus, only to see them scatter before they could inflict any significant damage. The situation quickly became a public relations disaster. Newspapers around the world picked up the story, ridiculing Australia for sending its army against birds, and losing. Political opponents mocked the government's decision, while the farmers grew increasingly frustrated. After just 1 week, the soldiers had fired 2,500 rounds and killed fewer than 200 emus, far short of the estimated 20,000 they were supposed to eliminate. The birds, meanwhile, continued to destroy crops, seemingly unfazed by the military's efforts. By December, it was clear the war was lost. The government recalled the troops, leaving the farmers to deal with the problem themselves. The so-called battlefield statistics were, honestly, pretty humiliating. Over 10,000 rounds of ammunition used, minimal kills, and absolutely zero strategic advantage gained. The emus had, well, won. In the aftermath, the government shifted to, less theatrical solutions, like offering bounties for emu kills and building better fences. Over time, the emu population was brought under control, but not through military means. The Great Emu War became a permanent fixture in Australia's history, a cautionary tale about underestimating nature and perhaps overestimating human technology. Today, the story has achieved near mythic status. It's retold in books, documentaries, and even comedy routines, often with a mix of disbelief and amusement. For Australians, it's a reminder that sometimes the line between triumph and absurdity is razor thin. For the rest of the world, it's a testament to the strange, unpredictable turns history can take. And for the emus, they remain blissfully unaware that they once bested the Australian army. The Great Emu War wasn't just an odd event, it was a collision between human ambition and natural resilience. The military had expected an easy victory, but the emus' speed, stamina, and unpredictability turned the campaign into an embarrassing defeat. It's a story that asks a bigger question. In our quest to control nature, are we truly as dominant as we believe, or are we just playing by nature's rules? In 1932, Australia learned the answer the hard way, and the emus, they just kept running.